And we are live. What is going on, everyone? It's your boy Johnny Dunn, and we back with another one. Now today, there's no drop, but we had the VeVe AMA Twitter Spaces going on. So welcome everybody to the chat. We're gonna be tuning into the live stream today. We're just gonna be hearing their thoughts on, all the updates that are coming soon. We got all the updates on the Master Collector program, so that's gonna be definitely interesting to hear everybody's thoughts, comments, feedback. Definitely interested to hear what everybody's thoughts are in the chat, what you guys think of the Master Collector program. And again, this is just the first or the second iteration of it. I mean, it's not finalized. We saw everybody get upset, not everybody, but there was a good amount of people who were frustrated with the community. A lot of people were kind of on edge the first update. This one, we kind of feel the same way right now, but just remember, everybody, relax. This is only a draft, right? This is not final. So this is gonna be a good AMA just to tune into and just hear how the community feels. Welcome everybody to the live stream. Before it starts, I'm going to go over the details real quick on the Master Collector program. Again, I think it's great that they're listening to the community, right? Now, me personally, I don't have any secret rare comics, so it doesn't really help me that much on this update. But again, I think this is kind of the more extreme, right? I think they're going to have somewhere in the middle. Some people are annoyed about the change to the comic book groups. I think you mean the series, right? How there's like no more sets of the series. Yeah, I mean, for me, it kind of went against my game plan. My game plan was to collect about, one comment for each one. But I think this is just this is just a draft, right? There's nothing finalized just yet. So again, for anybody who's maybe really happy or really sad, etc., don't feel too bad because it's just starting, right? I mean, this is let's see, AMA is just starting out. But again, this is just a draft. I want everybody to realize, it's a work in progress, right? This is like 0.2, I think it said. Let's see. Can you guys hear this? I can't quite hear it just yet. I can hear it on my phone. Alright, let me leave it on my phone. And then, let's see, why can't I hear it on the screen here? Just playing some music while it gets all set up. Give me one moment, y'all. I don't think that's it. Maybe I might just have to back out of the Twitter space and come right back in. But again, I just want people to realize, I saw a lot of people upset possibly about all the updates, and I just want people to realize that, it's just starting out. AMA is going on right now. I'm trying to get into it. Maybe I have to. I don't know why it's not popping up on my computer for some reason. Let's go. I wanted to play on my computer though for y'all. Maybe, should I go to Cavell? Should I go to Cavell? He's probably live streaming it. Why is this not working? Let's go. Now we're in session. You guys can hear this, right?
All right. How's everybody doing?
Doing well.
Dan, are you on? You up?
Certainly am.
All right.
Great intro music.
No drop.
No, I keep it here. Let's see here. Let's make sure everybody's in. Tweet is out. We got a bunch of people in the room. Wow, 13:48 already. We are not playing around, folks. Okay.
Let's go.
Shout out to Noah holding things down. We got DC.
It's kind of low for me.
Today or no?
I believe he is going to jump in.
Right. Well, it is 3 o'clock, so let's go ahead and get things moving. We got a lot to cover today, so we'll try to get through as much of this as possible within the time we have. Reese is not joining us today. I believe he's on a beach somewhere. Probably, no?
Flying around somewhere.
All right. Oh, and the man, David Yu, has arrived.
David.
All right, so let's just go ahead and kick it off with our standard top of the meeting updates. We'll kind of get a lot of things out of the way as far as general updates, and then we'll kind of move right into Twitter questions and bringing some people up on stage. So, David, unless there's anything you want to say to kick us off, Dan, we can go into the updates. What do you think?
Hi guys. Yeah, updates will be great. I'll let Dan kick it off first.
All right.
100%. Well, I think first up, we just wanted to really just go through the success of the past couple of weeks. I mean, it has been very intense, I think, for people both on the VeVe side and on the collector side. But yeah, overall, to have the Disney week and then DCon back to back. It was just crazy. And to be honest, Dave, you and I should have had a bet as to whether everything was going to sell out over the DCon weekend. But of course, the VeVe fan was hungry, so it happened. But also, I did want to report on just some of the insane user growth we had over the past probably 3 weeks, I guess, ever since the Disney PR came out. And just to give you guys an example of what that is. In the past few weeks alone, we've had more than 300,000 new users. We are still onboarding a significant amount of new users each day.
Let's go.
20 to 30,000 a day. And during the Disney week, we had a record number of people in the app, over 125,000, all going for those very, 16 to 20 odd thousand collectibles. So definitely a lot of competition. And with all of that activity, VeVe now has achieved the milestone of more than 1 million monthly active users.
Let's go.
So, Dave and I, and actually everyone in the community, everyone at VeVe always talks about it a lot, that, we do owe so much of this growth to all of our influencers, a lot of people on this call, and just generally everyone for, all your backing and support. So, yeah, big pat on the back around to everyone. So I just wanted to cover off those sort of highlights for the past couple of weeks before we dive into the rest of it. And before we do that, I really just want to give some shout outs to a few people as well. Number one, Alex, Noah, and Reese. I mean, man, you guys nailed it at DCon. Dave and I were obviously back here in New Zealand trying that we couldn't be over there. But yeah, you guys did a really, really good job. So just wanted to publicly say thank you to you guys for doing that. And in addition, all of our VeVe fam who came along, from Wendy, Taps, Traps, Randy, Granola, Geomite, Omi Homies, just, everyone who attended DCon. I literally think you guys were walking billboards for VeVe. We've had a lot of...
shout out to all you guys, man.
A lot of great positive feedback from the event. Also wanted to just give a quick shout out to NFT Pirates. I mean, I don't know how you secured it, man, but you did an interview with Gymshark, which was really cool. It's just a really great interview, and I thought a cool intro for people into VeVe. So well done on that.
Absolutely.
Next up on my list is just to quickly touch on the app release that we did last week. Sorry, actually that was this week. I don't know where the time's going. I think that we've had some really positive feedback on the Market Comics update, also merging comics into the store, which just makes it significantly easier to find all of those comics. And of course, any feedback you guys have on these updates, please feel free to contribute them as you do. Yep, that's it. Nice one, Alex.
Let's go. It's big time, Pirate. Shout out to you, bro. Legendary interview that's going to be. Big time.
All right, we still moving down the list, or do we got...
Yep. Let's keep pressing on. Sorry, I actually smashed the mute button for a second there. Now, next up on the list is the Lincoln skateboards. So over the Decon weekend, and I know a lot of you have reached out to us, there was a double minting of the metadata on the secret rare. So what Dave and I have been doing in the background is working on that second mint. It will come out with an updated design, or a slightly updated design, and of course it will still have the SR tag. And if any of you are going to be the lucky people to get this new one, you'll get an email in the next 48 hours, just notifying, and then probably another email when we do roll out the updates in another couple of days. Next up, Alex, I'm just going to power through this list so we can get to
let's do it.
The community. Now, FUD busting. So a couple of things I just wanted to go through. Obviously, bots have been on the menu socially for a while. And I guess I really just wanted to give a little bit more perspective from our side. When dealing with bots, these are something that affect industry-wide, whether it's sneakerheads, whether it's tickets, anything that can be dropped online at a specific time. And ultimately, dealing with bots really is a cat and mouse game or a whack-a-mole game. One pops up, you smash it down. But I just wanted to assure the community that we do use some of the world's top bot protection services out there. These guys already work for, major brands which are 10, 20, 30 times bigger than VeVe, and they do a very, very good job with that. So, we take all measures that we can on our side to ensure that we're doing bot protection. Doesn't mean they'll be gone forever, 100%. No, it doesn't, and because it doesn't work like that in any industry. One of the updates that we made in the last app release is you guys might have seen we've listed all of the usernames in the market, and that is so if it's more transparent who you're buying off now, and really from a community perspective. We're doing everything we can on our side, and on a community side, if we're taking measures to not support these bots, assuming the user can be identified as a bot, because it is obviously still a grey area, we should be trying to buy off people who you think are legitimate. And that will obviously become a lot more clear also once we roll out the NPC. Secondly, I just wanted to discuss scaling. VeVe overall runs very, very well, especially considering the massive growth that we've had, especially outside drops. Outside a drop, the system generally runs 99.9% exceptionally very well. When it comes to the drops, we are using the drop model, which we've used from the beginning of the year, and it is, while extremely exhilarating and exciting and creates heart palpitations and all that, it is, in terms of a programmatically way, quite an inefficient way to run a drop. So we will be rolling out a new drop system a little bit later in the year, and I will cover that in the updates.
I think that's fair.
In a moment. Now, next up, so just to run through all of the stuff that's going on. So the other thing I wanted to touch on is timelines. I know we're basically branded as hashtag soon now. We should 100% register that and have it as our trademark. But I also just want to remind everyone that, VeVe is a collectible business. And as a collectible business, we need to show good results, which, we have been up till now, to secure licenses, to bring in the brands, which bring in the users. So it's very important that we do have a focus on collectibles. And, some people, might comment that we should be focusing on certain things rather than maybe Disney or Decon. But really, the exposure that we get, that we have received from Disney Week and Decon Weekend has been priceless for the long term of VeVe. As in, it's brought in, people from the Disney world. It's brought in artists and and fans from the art world. So it's really important just to remember that is and always will be our core business. So if we are a little bit slow on, some of the tech we're rolling out, for the most part, that's the reason. Especially when we're crazy enough to do 25 odd drops or whatever it was in 7 days. But however, now that all of those key drops are out of the way, we will, as always, continue to press ahead. With the new app releases come out, as we said it would. MCP version 0.2 has been released. Now, just to quickly zip down the list, so MTL is basically all done. We didn't want to roll out any kind of big updates to the platform during a big drop week like Disney or Decon. So that will be going into production this coming week, and then we will be onboarding or contacting the small beta tester group to start off with. And then, as previously discussed, we'll then roll it out to core groups of people, 25, 50, 100, and so on. IMX production will also be continuing on this week. We are hoping that we will be getting into stage 2 of that. I believe that there's just a few more things that our team and the Immutable team need to get ironed out, and then we'll be ready to move on to that.
If I may, Dan, knowing how many new users we have, and given that we have about 2,200 people in this space currently, can we just give a quick high-level explanation of what IMX is and why it's important and why so many people are excited about it?
Yes, absolutely. That's a great point, Alex. So basically, VeVe operates off the Go chain blockchain at the moment. Now, these guys have been very good to us up till now, but obviously, in the past couple of years, the blockchain space has changed quite a lot. And we feel that there are predominant players in this space, which in our opinion is Ethereum. So Immutable is an Ethereum-based blockchain, or ETH-based blockchain on layer 2, and there's a few key reasons that we're migrating over. So number one, so we can be our NFTs can be significantly more interoperable than what they are now. It's no secret that I've mentioned on a number of AMAs that I do believe the future is interoperability. Eventually, when all the big guys come around.
Absolutely.
Number two, of course, it is still environmentally friendly. Number three, it's a very fast and adequate system for our needs. And lastly, of course, very low gas costs. I mean, I think we've minted in excess of 2 million NFTs in the past 6 or 7 months, or 7 or 8 months.
Wow.
So all of these kind of key points are what we need to address as the business continues to grow. So moving on from there, we have the Showroom V2. Now next week, I'll be working with Reese to release an article. There's quite a few updates going out in this new Showroom V2. Number one is obviously the new beautiful gallery, which looks really stunning. Number two is the empty space showroom. I really feel that, the Voltaholics and all of these super talented showroom builders are going to have a lot of fun with the empty space. You're not going to be constrained by being inside this gallery anymore.
Oh,
so
cool.
we want to release an article before we drop it, just so everyone knows and understands how to use it, because the empty space showroom is a little bit different. And then very shortly after that, we will be rolling it out. So very excited to see what amazing creations will be coming out from that side. Now, next up, I just wanted to go through the Master Collective version 0.2. Let me just get my notes.
0.2. See how early it is in this? It's not finalized yet, so
just
don't
to
freak
explain some of the reasoning as to why we have made these updates. Sorry, I just lost my links here. Here we go. Okay, so number one is the... come on, internet, load. You can do it.
Do you want me to read it for you?
Yeah.
We can...
Yeah, here we go. No, better. Okay, so number one is the drop lottery. So a couple of things here. We've decided to update this, to the drop raffle. So now you will still use your points, but rather than bidding your individual points, you will now buy a raffle ticket. And in the same way that any raffle works, the more tickets you have, the higher chance of securing that drop you will have. And one of the reasons we changed it to a raffle is that obviously there are collectors that span a wide range of levels or ranks within VeVe, from the newbie to the master collector. And with the raffle approach, it actually gives that newbie user, even though it might be a very small chance, still a chance to land something in the drop raffle. And that's the reason one of the main reasons we've changed it to this system rather than just voting or wagering with points. Secondly, we decided that, especially if you're a new user to VeVe and you don't secure the drop, which will be more than likely the case when there's so many other master collectors with a lot of points. We decided that we'll give those points back, or give back 90% of those points. But the reason being is that, we want people to be able to actively participate. And if you're a new user to the platform or a mid-level user who might have some trouble, beating these guys with lots of points, you will be able to get your points returned and then have a continued effort rather than having to go back and then build those points up again and again. And it's also important to remember that the points will expire in 6 months. So you do need to use them up within that time anyway. Secondly, around the set points. So with the modifications that we've made to the overall point system, we decided to scale down the set points from 6 points to 5 points. And then obviously that's a diminishing tier based on the number of collectibles in that set. Now, the community yelled and we listened, of course, like we always do. So we
yelled. That's not fair, Dan. Yelled, please. Everybody was very civil.
Sorry. Civilly provided feedback, I should say. And so we have decided to increase the collectible points for secret rares. Now, I know it may seem like a massive jump from going from 0.5 to 5 points, but really when you break down all of the numbers in our entire collectible editions that we've released to date, and more than likely in the future, the secret rares make up 1% of all of the editions available. So when you think about it like that, those collectibles are very hard to obtain. And it is only a small percentile. So it's not like, even if you had every single one of them, yes, you would get a lot of points, but, in some way you deserve that amount of points. So that's the main kind of reason that we've jumped those points up, which might seem quite high, but trust me when I say that it works in the overall greater point system. Low mint bonus has also been updated. I actually made a mistake on this one. It is meant to be the same as collectible low mint bonus, which will be a percentage of the item. So I have put 300 in here, but it will be the same as the low mint comics, which will be 5% of the lowest mint numbers. Just makes it a bit more fair, given the fact that our edition sizes do range quite a lot now, from 100,000 for Marvel Mighties down to 800 for some of the secret rares that we release. So definitely the fairest way. So I'll get this article updated a little bit later today. Now, Comic Daily points. So same deal with collectible secret rares, is that secret rare comics make up 1% of the total edition. So we have also increased those numbers. And the reason I've increased it up to 6 points is because we have decided to remove the comic points for the series. Not because it was, like a bad idea, but it was just a bit clunky in the way that it worked. As in, you would have to. It's not like a set that you just complete, boom, you get the points. You have to kind of constantly keep adjusting and buying. So we decided that we were just going to scrap that because it was a bit of a difficult concept to get across. And that's why we have increased the comic points to accommodate for that. Point limitations, a couple of things we've just touched on there. Obviously, we will be doing everything we can within the system to ensure that people are playing fair and that the system can't be gamed. But just a couple of examples of that will be set points, for example. You get 100 points for completing a set. You can only do that once. You can't transfer it back out and then sell it back to yourself and get another 100 points. Also, same goes with the market. You can't just sit there and buy and sell the same collectible back and forth all day, every day. There will be limitations to the majority of these things. And as we roll those out, we'll continue to add them to the list here. So very happy to and open to any questions or feedback around the MCP as we get into the community side of things. OUP, the OMI Utility Program. So as Reese has already announced, the article is basically all ready to go. We will be just checking a few things over the next couple of days, and then we will be releasing, or should I say dropping that early next week. So very much looking forward to getting that out. It's been a long time coming. And then lastly, just to touch on the drop model. So as I mentioned before, the current drop model is super exciting, heart palpitations, etc. But it is an inefficient approach to take to these drops. So we will be moving to a waiting system or a waiting room of some sort. We are designing that waiting system so there is still that degree of excitement in there. We don't want people waiting around for hours in the waiting room, etc. So it's still going to be really fast, really quick, very exciting. But the great thing is that, it's a far more efficient system, allows us to scale, is more fair depending on the side of the fence that you sit on. And overall, I really think that this is a good move for the products. And we anticipate that will be rolled out, ready to go around the end of this year or maybe early Jan.
Post-Disney.
So Alex, that basically covers the majority of my updates.
It's a new era.
So should we hand it over to the community?
Yes, indeed. Let me see who we got here in the requests. I do have some Twitter questions that I think we can get to. I do want to make sure that we get some new voices, as always, given how many new people we have in the community, new users on board. So I want to give all those people a chance to ask some things. But let's just go ahead and answer a few Twitter questions. We'll start off in the app realm. We'll see. Earth to Radio asks, I don't know if it was mentioned before, but will we be able to purchase items in the secondary market with OMI? Doesn't make sense to me as it would be burned right away, but just in case.
Yes, that is correct. So with the OMI Utility Program, which everyone will see next week, you will be able to read how we're going to approach OMI to NFT in the secondary marketplace. Now, just keep in mind that is peer-to-peer, so that OMI won't be burnt. As in, if I'm selling something, for whatever, 100,000 OMI, and then you buy it off me, I'm receiving that OMI. So because it's a peer-to-peer transaction, it won't be burnt. However, there is still market fees, etc., that will burn some OMI.
Great. And Luis asks, when the desktop version of the app is done, will there also be a web version of the vault so we can share a link to view our vaults with friends and family, even if they don't have an account, or be able to share a link to our vaults on social media?
Yes, absolutely. Some of these creations are so good. And even with my own showroom, which granted looks a little bit crappy compared to what's out there, I would love to be able to just share that directly with, my friends, my family. So there will be a full web version of the showroom, and I know a lot of people are waiting for that because it can be a little bit cumbersome to use on the phone. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what comes out of the web showroom.
Great. A couple of points of clarification on both the new drop system, which is a waiting room concept, and the MCP drop raffle. If somebody's entering the room to buy either the allocation set aside for MCP or for the standard drop with the waiting room, and it's a blind box, they're assigned the same as they would be normally a random rarity.
Yes, it will always be random rarities. That's the only fair way.
Right. And in the case that there are separate rarities for individual purchase, will there be different waiting rooms for each rarity?
That is correct. So if we use the traditional drop model where you can go for a specific collectible, then there will be a waiting room for each one of those. Otherwise, if it's a blind box, of course, they all sell in the one instance. So there'll be a single waiting room for them.
Okay. All right. We'll go ahead and answer one more Twitter question, and we'll move it to the stage. Doctor of Stuff asks, will we be able to see sales data on collectibles, most recent sales, highest price sold, etc.?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Similar to other NFT marketplace platforms?
Yes, we will. When we've got those updates scheduled to roll out in the app, which will have things like historic graph, historic high price, low price, and then obviously all of that kind of information will be on the web platform as well. We understand that gives more transparency over to users buying or selling, and it is an important part of the data that we want to put out. And this is for the secondary market.
Great. Well, I lost who I had up here. Let's bring up a new person. And I believe Send This is coming up now. I have your Twitter question, but I assume you're going to ask it in person, Send This.
Yeah, that's actually exactly what I was going to do. I was going to ask you guys off. First, thanks everybody for having this space for us and answering our questions and being good sports about it. And congratulations on all the accomplishments you guys have had. It's been a fantastic ride since March for me, so I'm sure it's been amazing for you guys as well. My biggest question is, with this transfer to Immutable, will our delivery times be shortened, and will that allow us to keep the market open during drops?
Great question. Now, the migration to Immutable won't necessarily affect our drop performance. That is very much centered around the waiting room model. Now, I do have some bad news, which is that when we roll out the new waiting room system, we'll be saying goodbye to our lovely green delivery truck because the deliveries will be significantly more efficient and will more than likely happen minutes after the collectible. So before I can comment on the market, I probably need to talk to the developers so they don't go, Daniel, you promised what? But our aim is obviously always to have those two sections of the market open at one time, and moving to this waiting room system will put significantly less pressure on the service. So I do hope that's the case, but I'll follow up.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Just a follow-up on that, Dan. I get this question quite often. I know it might be moot moving to the new drop system, but in those cases that a drop is a higher addition run, and we are still in the process of delivering collectibles maybe 1 to 2 hours after drop time, and the market has since opened. I sense there's a lot of frustration sometimes. People think that the two should be connected. Basically, the market shouldn't open until all collectibles are delivered. Do we have an official philosophy on that? I know it's tied to server load, but
yes, it's basically tied to server load. I mean, I guess it depends on your perspective as what type of user you are. Are you a flipper? Are you a collector? So it all depends on your motives. But you are right, Alex. It will be a moot point with the new system because deliveries will be significantly faster.
All right, fantastic.
That's good to know.
Okay, next up we have OTF, I assume?
Yes, sir. Appreciate you for having me on. Thank you.
Yeah.
Just a couple questions. This is for Dan. So I have an Apple phone. So I've realized that people who have Androids are able to see their Omi wallet within their VeVe app. So I was wondering, when we switch over to Immutable, will I be able to, on my iPhone, have my, when I put my Omi into my VeVe, will I see it in my app, or do I still have to go to omi.vv to put it in?
Yes, you will still need to go to omi.vv. Now that is because of platform rules, right? Some platforms are more lenient than others. So, and we obviously have to comply with, with the rules and guidelines of the app platforms. However, when the web platform rolls out, obviously that's on the World Wide Web, and we can do whatever we want. So there'll be a far more integrated experience, and it won't really matter whether you're on iPhone or app, Android, because you'll be able to use a more ubiquitous web platform in the future.
Perfect. Appreciate that. And one last thing. So I've been bringing in a couple of new users, like, my family, friends, and everything like that. And, some of them just collect comic books. And when I go to their profile, it shows that they have 0 collectibles, 0 followers, whatever the case may be. But, when they're in their profile and they're looking at their own account, it shows that they may have 16 collectibles. Now, I thought that was going to be updated within the app. Can we, is that going to be updated in the future, or?
Yeah, thanks for bringing that up. I didn't realize that was the case, so I'll note that down to have a chat with the development team. I thought it was already showing them, but it should be, so we'll get that checked out.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Appreciate you guys having me up.
Yeah, of course. Thank you so much. Wadsworth.
Hey there, guys. Thanks for having me up. I appreciate it. I just had a question about the interoperability, and most people want to know if they can bring their NFTs to OpenSea, but I'd like to know, can we take our other NFTs and bring them into the VeVeverse eventually?
Very good question. Like I said earlier, I do believe in a lot of interoperability, and I think it would be awesome in your showroom if you could have an awesome frame on your wall, and then maybe from that you could display artwork that you might have purchased from OpenSea, or maybe you can even have your animated top shot in there. I personally think that would be a cool thing. It's probably a little ways down the line.
Early.
All right, great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Wadsworth. I'm going to go to another couple Twitter questions here. Actually, I have one from Discord. How on this, regarding the Lincoln skateboards, how does this impact the full set? So the current set is 4, and does that mean now the set is 5?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay.
Correct. Yes, there will be a 5th board.
Okay, great. Thank you. Let's go on to Zombie Doge asks, is it possible to update the value indicator for our collection? The percent displayed is incorrect and the gem value is as well. It'd be nice if we could reflect the floor prices for our collection. Thank you.
Yes, that is, I do agree. I also would love to have that updated. So the back-end devs have been working on that one, calculating the floor price of everyone's collectibles. Again, this one we just need to make sure that it's very optimized. We have a lot of users with, and some of them have a lot of collectibles. So the reason we changed it to what it is now is because it was smashing the server a bit, but that's going through a refactor now. So we definitely are working on that one.
Awesome.
Okay, great. Let's see, one more. This is a good one for the new folks because we have a lot of new people in the space today. I don't know how to say this name, so I'm just going to ask the question. Where do the additional 50 plus mints of each rarity go for each drop? I know 1 through 40 go to the licensor, or VeVe. Where do the rest go? So can you just break that down? I think that's a question we've been getting quite frequently these days. Yeah.
Sure. So the remaining 50 are just completely random additions that are selected. And we use those additions in things for like giveaways, which we will be starting to roll out, more and more regularly. such as we did with Edo. They will also be used for giveaways at at future events that we might do. They're really just sort of set aside there for for community purposes or giveaways. For the reason being that the 1 to 40 have become extremely valuable now. So we wanted to make sure that there was more that we could actually have for the community to give away.
All right. Let's move on back to the stage, and looks like we're still connecting there. I'll bring up 2 just in case. Crypto Mando.
Oh, hello. Thank you for inviting me up to speak.
Of course.
Don't worry.
What's your question?
My question was, will integrating KYC help to eliminate the issue with bots that David mentioned earlier?
Like I say, we are already using very good bot detection systems. And I think we need to be careful with KYC. I mean, there will absolutely be some form of KYC in the future as the products expand and the value grows. But we need to be careful that anyone who's in crypto knows, boom, I go to an exchange, I've got to sign up, KYC, etc. It's kind of a known and accepted part of that process. However, if you're a standard collector and you hear about VeVe and you come in, then I immediately have to provide all of this information before getting in. In my opinion, it creates a barrier and resistance to entry. So I believe that we have the good people on the ground now working to prevent these bad actors coming into the platform, and there will be some degree of KYC coming in the future, but it will more than likely when you reach certain levels of value, if that makes sense.
Okay, thank you. That's a fair point.
Thank you, Crypto. Let's move on to CVV.
Yes, hi, thank you. This is Dree with CVV Entertainment. First, let me say thank you so much for having this space. You're really sharing very helpful information. I do have a question. Do you foresee the VeVe application moving to the web where we could go and participate in the drops, or will this be solely through the app?
Yes, 100% we do. It is in development right now. So I think we can expect that to be rolled out sometime in January. So you'll be able to choose whether you want to do your drops from in bed if it's 5 a.m. in the morning, or you can sneakily have VeVe up at lunchtime at your workplace if that's what you want as well.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for that. That's really awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Let's move to one more from Twitter. And I'm going to direct this one to Mr. Yu. Skeet asks, following the huge success that was DesignerCon, what's the future in-person event schedule you're looking at to host or attend? Moves being made, plans in the work, DCon UK, cough, cough, hint, hint, wink, wink. What do you say?
Yeah. Great question. We want to be in every event possible. We do have another possible live event in the planning for the coming, months. I don't think there's any more in this side of the holiday season. This year we meant to be at New York Comic Con, but some of our licensor did pull out, in a way, last minute planning due to COVID. So, I'm pretty confident next year with everything returning back to normal and how successful VCon has been, we will be rolling out our, international roadshow. And obviously, VCon's going to be running in UK. And I think this was a topic discussed yesterday with some of the VCon teams that we will look at expanding to UK. We want to be everywhere our fans is. And I think in the next few months, we're going to be rolling out new categories. Dan mentioned many times with me emphasis on, right now we have collectibles from comic, statues, animations, there's other areas that we really want to get into, such as music. Sports is another category we haven't come out with. And, there will be other comic publishers that we want to start to introduce. So in a lot of these other events and category that we're bringing out, we'll have different type of live events as well. For example, if it's sports, there will be some sort of sports event that VeVe will be attending to have a booth. But in regards to more specific and more relevant what we're doing now, yes, we will be looking at Comic-Con and DCon, and there will be follow-up shortly on our announcement where we will be. And, we'd love our fans to be as engaged as possible and do show up and support us. And, the takeaway note from our first live show is we will be doing a lot more planning. We'll have bigger booths that's been fully well designed and move in, move out, where we can move these booths around the country in the US. And we are going to look for volunteers because we can't be in every city, everywhere at once. And going back to the question where some of the users are asking, some of the editions that we keep, we are keeping them. Some of these editions back for the reason eventually we do see 4 to 5 cons running all at once, and we do want these NFT to be showcased in different locations, and we do need to send them out to different accounts to utilize these. So we are really thinking ahead of the game at the moment.
Awesome, thank you. Okay, let's go back to the stage. I got Droy up here. Is that how you said it, Droy?
Yeah, Roy, for the community. Great, guys, and thank you for giving me the chance to speak. I'm representing a small Dutch group in Telegram, and a VeVe collector from the start. And great to see the community here and some great names. Respect that. It's really been an amazing journey. So hi to all. I have one question. Now that we see so much traction within VeVe, right? A lot of new members, a lot of new NFTs, great projects. Really respect for that, and the ones who are really choosing those kind of great art pieces and collaborations. What I do miss is something that we now have such a large user base, is to do really something good with those NFTs. So maybe something like a charity type of thing, event where we can buy, let's say, something, I just say something from WWF, right? Or something to do on carbon mitigation. A special NFT that gives something back to the world. Because I would love to buy such an NFT and also do something for a good cause. Is something like that in the plan?
Yes. We did run a program for the LGBT community a few months back, I think early on this year, and on the Pride Day, and we did, thanks for everyone who participated in that, and I think we raised about 128,000 US for that course. We will have other fundraising events that we are in the plan and working on. So, and once again, we'll be announcing these when the appropriate time comes up. And also, I think earlier this year, most of you will know, we have announced our environmental, carbon emission to offset credits, things like that. We are going to be rolling out plans for 2022. We're just funding, we are a bit under-resourced trying to do everything at once, so we're just rolling out the most important parts first. But it's really good to hear, our community, like yourself, that you want to help more and do more. So we'll definitely be bringing more of these type of projects up.
Awesome, thank you. Let's go ahead and move on to Not You NFT. Did I lose him? I think I lost him. All right, let's go with Foster.
Let's go, Foster.
Hey guys, how's everyone doing?
All right, what's up?
Good. So actually, perfect segue, because David was just speaking about it. I just had a question about scalability of not necessarily the platform, but the company itself. I know David said, resources are a little tight right now and are likely being overutilized in some aspects of the platform. I was wondering if you could touch on your plans for scalability of your company as it comes to resources, and then maybe also touch on how you utilize some of those third-party resources, whether it be in marketing or design, etc., to kind of complete everything that you're able to do in the timeframes that you do it in.
Yeah, I mean, we we touched base on this quite a few times. This year's our target goal was about, I think, 65 or 68,000 active users. So our whole entire business plan, when we went launch in January, February, March this year, was based on that type of budget. And we didn't really see these type of growth until about the second to the third quarter. So, and obviously the growth was, one like a hockey stick type, or what wasn't even really a hockey stick, it was just a stick going up. So it came as a surprise how much uptake there was. And, we also weren't going to be releasing all these major IP this year. And we see the community keep making videos and keep giving us the encouragement to try these big IPs. And, just so you understand, in regards to signing up licenses, we have been doing this work going back to 2-3 years ago. So most of these licenses that you have seen today, they weren't just signed like yesterday and go, hey, we'd like to do an NFT drop. They've been partnership in the way and negotiations and the process of making these NFT. We did have a bottleneck where we tried to produce a lot of the content and tried to find slots coming out. And one other major problem was, if you guys all remember, we had a period of time where we had the loading issue. And during that period, we had a number of weeks we didn't drop any NFT. And basically our whole team has been working and resolving issues on scalability. Now, and constantly we are improving features, as well as we're solving this bot mechanism with drop. And so we are running, so everyone should understand that this is a very there's a lot of multiple units in the business going, from the development team, the business team, the licensing team, the design team, and we do have heads in each of these departments. We are going to be looking for more senior management to take into lead, more staff going into the 2022 and so on. And I mean, we are in the corner where a lot of these things are all merging. So let me explain a little bit how I see and why we see such a huge uptake. And number one is, myself and Dan, we're always huge believer that anything can be digitalized, will be going through that digitalization. And this year, if you were drawing a curve, you see, physical toys, you see supply outsourcing, all these companies around the world having outsourcing issues, shipping issues, and cost of goods are going up. And then you see internet's getting cheaper and people are using more data, using more form-based things. So basically that had created a huge loading and interest in this NFT field. Now, in the same time, the scalability is not just about the business team. I mean, we're working 24/7 or any hour in the day that we have to try to scale the business, including the tech team. But you have to understand, the license companies and the IP companies, there's more and more wanting to get into the space. So what we had planned is, we didn't anticipate that we're going to announce this many brands, and plus we got more brands we haven't even started to touch on. That will be coming out in the next week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. We'll continue to announce brands every month in some of these great collabs and partnerships. So in every single sector and division in the company, just getting over heavy loaded. But I just want you to understand, most of these people and companies, they want to work with myself and Dan. They want the key decision makers. They want to speak to the founders or the co-founders in the business. So it is right this moment, unfortunately, we are just a bit overloaded trying to answer everything and fix everything. So I do hope, our audience do give us a little bit more time. We know what you want. We do listen.
Just give them time. Give them time.
You guys giving us the opportunity to be serving you, and continuously we won't let you down. We'll keep bringing out good stuff and bring fun and smiles to your face.
And I think just to add to that, Dave, we also need to stand back and to think about where we were back in January and where we've come to now. There's been a massive amount of scalability, and while there's been teething issues along the way, overall, it still provided a great experience for our fans and users. And sometimes when you're growing a business, it really is not a matter of just literally throwing more resources in. VeVe is a very complex business behind the scenes, and we need to make sure we're bringing people in at the right time to scale. But the main thing is now, like I said earlier, we did 25 drops last week. That's dropping at scale already. So while there are parts that can be improved, as with any business, overall, it's still going pretty well.
Yeah. And one more thing, I just want everyone to understand, we're not the only companies going through the scalability problem. And we're talking our licensors at the same time. They never have a division that was handling NFT or digital asset in the format that we are dealing with. A lot of our partners or licensors are also learning and scaling their internal staff to ensure that the output of work is not being duplicated. So there's actually multiple layers. And one other important thing I want everyone to understand is that we're dealing a lot of the asset class that we're talking about now is very, very new in terms of government regulation. There's always constant rule change, and you always see constant politician around the world talks about something, the whole market goes into, you get a depressed moment, and then nothing, and things come up. It's been very volatile, and our job, this business is almost so new that you don't know what's going to happen, in the foreseeable future. Our job is to ensure we keep meeting the compliance issue. There is so much compliances. Our legal compliance goes through from multiple jurisdictions down to, where we pay Pacific tax on it. The stuff that you guys are purchasing, we are paying local tax in every country. Who's collecting these? There are a lot of multiple level of these, and countries are introducing GST on digital assets. For example, New Zealand, the government's about to pass through a law where the digital NFT will have to pay GST. So we will have to start collecting GST for Pacific regions and of Pacific for Pacific governments. So there's a lot of scalability, not just in design, engineering, but in accounting and legal compliance. We will be a quite sizable company in the near future, and obviously we still thinking, how we're going to be driving these assets to the next stage. Immutable X is a partnership that took multiple months to negotiate and understand their scalability, and ensuring that our partners in our license industry are comfortable to use that blockchain as well. So there's actually multiple levels of these. And I think most time people just think me and Dan just sit there and we push a button and that Spider-Man just jumps out 3D and just go, there's 3,000 of them, and it's going to be ultra rare. There's a lot of complex mathematical simulation process we go through. How we drop it, when we drop it, if it's relevant. So give you an example, Hitmonkey was a product that came out. It was a comic that we minted this week, and it was relevant with the Hulu release of the Hit Monkey. So, you know, having an NFT that's day and date release of something, it's quite important. Disney Plus is another one, celebration of the Disney Plus anniversary. So a lot of these day-to-day, the USP is the Day of the Dead coming out, and you will see more and more. Please don't mark my word. You will see more and more, you know, day-to-day type of release. For example, James Bond, the movie. But I don't want you guys to go out and start mapping out what day is happening or what in every type of property out there, or when Pokemon's going to change their clothing or introduce another character. Because we do have a roadmap, and we have to fit everyone into these calendar slots perfectly.
All right, thank you very much. Go quickly to one question from Twitter, and then we'll go back to the stage. Naked Whale asks, if I'm understanding this correctly, a comic ultra rare is worth twice as many MCP points as a collectible ultra rare? What was the thinking behind that?
No, that's not right. A collectible ultra rare, yes, it will be. Collectible ultra rare, I remember off the top of my head, was 3 points, and a comic secret rare, which, just remember, keep in mind, is 1% of the entire circulation of editions, is 6 points.
Okay, great. One more, they call me Josh, asks, what about push notifications for Market Open, or an automatic refresh of the Market Open? We all have to basically force close our app and reopen to see the market on the iPhone once it opens up after we drop.
Yeah, we can look at that. I mean, all of those kind of things, you know, I sort of lump those into the superficial category. And obviously I know that these are little bugbears that we will absolutely get nailed down. But, you know, this is an evolving product, and, you know, we're always releasing updates. I mean, you know, any of the OGs remember what VeVe was like back 6 months ago. In that time, it has, you know, grown leap and found in terms of functionality and the offering. So, yeah, I mean, that's basically what's just going to keep happening.
Great. All right, let's move on to the stage. We have Crypto Nostradamus, Crypto MS.
Oh, yeah, that's me.
Hey.
Yeah, you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Still can.
Yeah. All right, so I just need a little clarification. I was one of the people that got this secret rare Lincoln board that didn't arrive. Kind of curious. You're talking about a fifth board. You say that it's going to be a secret rare. Are the people that didn't get those, are they automatically going to get the fifth board? And will it have the same rarity as the fourth board did? Because that's a huge deal. And it's been a stressful week, and we're all wondering what is actually going on here. Was the fifth board planned? Was it what came of, you know, a technical error? And basically just need a little clarification.
Yeah, well, let me just go through what I mentioned just earlier, which is that there was a double minting of that particular board. So we will be, anyone who did get the extra mints will be receiving basically the same board, which is it'll still be an SR, as I mentioned, and it will have a slightly updated design, which we've worked with the design company on.
Okay, but is the rarity going to be the same or better?
Yes. So the rarity will be the same as the other one.
Okay. All right. So, and you said it's about 48 hours. Everybody will be getting this.
You'll get a notification within 48 hours, and then we just need to get the asset into production, which shouldn't take too much longer.
Okay. Now, I guess the only other question I would have, I just drew a blank. I guess I don't have a question.
All right.
Hey, well,
Thank you
just
very much.
hit us up on Twitter if you remember.
Yeah, definitely. All right, let's move on to Blake.
Hey guys, what's up?
Hey.
Hey, Blake.
I was just wondering if there's going to be a limit for the what is it called? The drop lottery tickets. If there's going to be a limit per person, because I was just wondering if someone could just come in and spend all of their MCP points from stacking a ton of secret rares, and if they could just weed out all the little fish, basically, if they could just get like 100 drop lottery tickets or something.
No, there won't be a limit. So as I mentioned before, one of the reasons we've changed it to the drop raffle is so, both the minnows and the whales of the point system can have a chance. Obviously, if you're a whale, if you've been collecting a lot, if you've been participating in the app for a long time, you're going to have a lot of points. And, using those points, you might end up buying as many drop raffle tickets as you can, and that would clean out all of the points that the whale had. But the advantage with having it as a raffle, it means that even if you could only get 1 or 2 or 10 tickets compared to someone else who maybe got 100, you still have a chance of being successful in the raffle. So we think it's a much more fair way. It's still very weighted towards those people who are very active users in VeVe, and just remember, that is what this drop lottery is around. But we also wanted to make sure that outside of the normal drop, which any other user can participate in, there is still that chance for everyone to be successful.
Got it. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, thank you very much. Okay, let's move on to Audible Collective.
Hey guys, how's it going?
All right.
Good, thanks.
Question, it's more for David probably. I was wondering if you guys have plans. I know, I don't know if you guys ever, I'm sure you have seen Sideshow Collectibles. They have like a combo of like a bunch of X-Men fighting a Sentinel. I was wondering if you guys ever had any plans to combine some of the NFTs to make like a scene or anything to that.
Yeah. Okay. We do have. So by the way, we're not in partnership with Sideshow Collectible. I just want to say. I just don't want people to go as confirmed or something. We do have a statue that's coming out that is going to look like what you're familiar with is a Sideshow Collectible, like a polystone style, where it's like a diorama. 2 figures are battling or looking at each other or things like that. So yeah, we do have a line, and I do believe hopefully we'll be rolling something out in December or January next year. December is this year. December. January is if we come meet the December. We've got a big lineup for December already. So we'll try to push it through as fast as we can. Yeah, but to that question, we will do more and more of these type of collectible coming up.
Yeah, and in addition to that, Dave, the new empty showroom that's coming out will basically be an empty space where you can put, multiple collectibles in. You can set up your own 3D diorama. And then, as I've mentioned on other AMAs, when we have the accessory feature rolled out, you might be able to put some blocks or dumpsters or whatever, and just build up this epic battle scene between, say, DC and Marvel, or whatever you want.
Oh, that sounds great. Thanks, guys.
All right. Thank you very much. Let's see. Let's go back to Twitter. Any news on? I assume this is awaiting completion of the mutable migration, but any news on additional exchanges for Omi?
Yeah, I mean, I think this is brought up in every AMA. We just like to clarify is right now we're in the Go chain, and by the way, there has been some interruptions with the exchanges getting, I believe, getting information or data of the Explorer and Go chain. So there has been recent delays.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure what happened there, but that didn't really affect what we were doing. But I know that there was some deposit withdrawal for a couple of days.
Yeah, and once again, this is one of the reasons why we encouraged to be moving into Immutable X. And once the migration's finished, we do have a few other exchanges that we have been in communication with. We'll return back to the dialogue where we last left off. And definitely, as a ERC20 token, it's going to be much easier to onboard in their system as well. So, in short answer, we will do our best to, and we do understand the importance of liquidity and access, for our users to access to these exchanges.
All right, thank you. All right, let's move on to Danielle.
Oh, hello. Hi. Thank you so much for having me on. Maybe you answered this already. I came in late, unfortunately, but I was just curious about the fees when you're buying gems. It's actually kind of a deterrent for me, unfortunately. And I was
okay. Yeah, we do understand that. Just so everyone understands, VeVe doesn't actually set the exchange rate on it. It's not like we would like to take 25% exchange rate on everything we collect. So a couple things you should know. There are some regions and countries out there that does collect additional digital tax, and Apple doesn't give you the most favorable exchange rate. So we do see that it's becoming a problem, and this is one of the major reasons why the online-based, web-based version will be coming out. So soon you could actually just purchase the gem with your credit card.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Yeah, right on. Good question. Thank you very much. Let's move on to Essentially Crypto. You there? Essentially. All right.
Hello.
On for me for a second. Oh, there you are. Yep.
That's right. So the first time using this, so I assumed the mic would just turn itself on, but I guess it doesn't. Okay. So hello everybody. Thank you very much for having me up and everything. I've got a couple of questions, if that's okay. The first one is that when we're buying the collectibles, obviously we know we've got 10% minus app fees and everything that goes to like a secret bank account somewhere that gets then doing the buyback at a later date. What I just wanted to clarify is that every single collectible, like from the start, since the app has opened, that has got that revenue, and then that's going to be used to buy back Omi at a later date, or is it from a certain point onwards?
Yeah, great question. And this is something that we haven't really addressed, and we're still working out a couple things. So our audience understand that the buyback does happen without you knowing. We could not really be going out and do a buyback and break any security law. The buyback, the word is often used, in the share, if you're registered security. Omi is a utility token. And the any reason why we will be doing a buyback is the company treasury is running out of Omis, and we need to replenish them. And we do set aside some funds, and we use the 10% as an average from what we collected net revenue, because obviously the company have tax to pay in each region, GST to pay, and we have to pay our licensors in certain part of that taking. So basically what we have net, we try to spend up to 10%, what we aim to, on the buyback where we see it fit. And obviously we don't announce it because we don't want any user to be pumping up our token to X amount of value, and then the company have to be buying back at the highest price. We don't know do we buy at the lowest price. We just buy it when the funds are available, and we see best fit for that condition. And that normally come in from our accountant and our lawyer, where we actually know that fund's not going to interrupt our business, because we still do have bills to pay and licensors to pay out of it.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Can I ask one more question? Is that okay? Just very quick. And that is that, like we've heard in like a few AMAs, that basically, well, I think we said this in one of them, that the idea is for eventually people to be able to buy Omi sort of in the app. So essentially, you're buying it direct from the exchange, but then VeVe kind of becomes the exchange. So what I was wondering is that something that comes in with the MTL, or is that something that's like way down the line, or when will that sort of thing?
We as a company have been investigating options. As more and more, as more cryptos become more daily use of people trading or buying them, we've been approached by many third-party service provider that can help us aggregate buying Omi. But one of the key things I just want everyone to understand is that as a company, we don't want to be sending more Omi out or selling more out. The idea is that we want the existing. There's actually a lot of Omi in circulation. We want those Omis out there to be utilized a bit better and end up with the right hands and the user who wants to either hold them for our Omi utility program coming out, or use them for other trading secondary. We are constantly looking for third-party apps or third-party projects that can also use Omi as their utility token. So in the coming months or next year, we will be announcing a lot more of these. I mean, obviously, Omi is based well known in the Ecomi project, and VeVe just happened to be one of the projects that allows these Omis to be functional. There will be other projects that we are bridging out and try to form partnerships where those projects can use Omi. Just like you could use Ethereum almost in every type of NFT project out there. We, in our hub, we would like to see these to be more, have more value in the utility side.
Wow. Okay. I wasn't expecting that answer. That's awesome. So to know that we're going to get it in other places as well, essentially, for other people to be able to use Omi, not just in the app.
I mean, that's the whole point. I mean, why the utility tokens is out there? It's just to have more functions, more people, more projects. And we already have dozens of startup projects in the NFT or gaming or in the Metaverse or VR, and all sorts have approached us to see if they can leverage what we have. But but right this moment, myself and Dan is very focused, and the roadmaps in front of us, the speed bumps. We want to get all these roll out, but down the road, in our mind, it's always about, hey, can more and more projects use this the Omi token? The short answer is yes. I mean, I already know there are retailers out there. Even a friend of mine, he has a computer store. He was considering accepting Omi as a service. If you bring your electronic to get repaired, you can pay a certain amount in Omi. Eventually we might see more and more. And hopefully our Omi homies out there, if you have friends out there, business friends, who would like to accept Omi as a utility token, or a discount if they hold, that we're open to ideas. And we already do have a list of people have approached us for a long time. It's not like it's only been like a day or two been discussing with us. So hopefully we'll see a lot, see some of these projects be using Omi in next year.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And thank you, Essentially Crypto. We'll go ahead and answer a few more from Twitter, since we got a pretty jammed request queue here. Anyway, you can ask. Okay. So as you know, or may not know, David, Ron English was making the rounds this week on socials, whether with Clubhouse, Twitter, Instagram, etc., talking about his new project. He also brought up a couple of things regarding VeVe, a couple of which were things that we had little teasers or Easter eggs for at DCon. I'd love for you to get into those, talk about those a little bit, but the actual question here is, if collecting all three sets of of serial killers, will there be a special access to buy a final piece, or will that unlock anything at all?
Funny you brought this question up. I was actually on a phone call with Ron only about 45 minutes ago. And I do have to tell you, I received 3 or 4 emails from Ron yesterday, and one of them got me really extremely excited. It's a brand new category, and you know, we talked to Ron and we know what Ron's been doing, and obviously I'm a huge collector of Ron's work. Now, Ron had some amazing idea, which myself and Dan, you know, after I got off the call, I have to ring Dan straight away because I know we need to see if we can make it happen. That you know, the whole idea of everything what Ron's doing is it's going to be quite close to what we are doing. We obviously seen a physical piece coming out with the NFT and the rabbit, the Grim. We've seen the serial killer, the blind box. We are going to be bringing out some more premium product. We did do some video loops at the DCon. These are all some of the project and future project that Ron's working with us. And going back to the serial killer, yes, there will be a final finale piece, and that piece only just landed in my email about 20 minutes ago. And that piece, we're just going to see how we're going to allocate or how we're going to do the drop. Dan will have to have a look at it, how it's possible. But you know, the great thing about Ron is he's always ahead of the curve, if I should say. He sees the future. When we approached him about 3 years ago, you know, he didn't quite get it in the first meeting, but then he caught on with it quite fast. And the development of this project with us, you know, bonded quite well because it's exactly how we wanted to go down and introduce artists into the platform. But Ron, as you know, he's multi-talented, not just in digital and physical. He's also huge, you know, into music. So it is elements of that we're going to be trying to bring in, and I think he may have touched base on that. There will be a lot of these elements across what he does. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Okay, let's move on to Silicon Secure.
Hey, what's up, guys? Congratulations. Hello. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, guys, congratulations on an amazing Disney week and Decon week. It was quite the whirlwind, and you guys were able to shake some collectibles out of my account. My question is, you know, I've been in spaces quite a bit. The community is amazing. The community in general for VeVe is just amazing. And some of the work that you touched on it, Dan, some of the work that they've been doing and the art they've been doing in the rooms is pretty awesome. And so, you know, have you guys thought about utility? For example, if I wanted to, you know, have someone come in my showroom and work with my pieces and build something, or if I wanted to buy a template from one of these artists and say, hey, if I have those collectibles, then I automatically can fill out that template, right? And this would be a new way to gamify VeVe. Have you guys thought about that? And also letting, you know, so that would let people that are building these spaces sell their templates, you know, and make money off of it. And also, you know, come in my showroom, like with certain access, I give them a code and they can come in and build showrooms. And then lastly, they're deleting a lot of these showrooms, these amazing showrooms, because of the limits in the app. And it's very sad, in my opinion, because this is art. So it's kind of like they're burning their art. Is there a way or workaround or a way that they can pay a fee to keep those additional showrooms, etc., so they're not destroyed?
Yes, all great points. We absolutely will be offering more showrooms, and that will be tied in with your master collector level. Also will be tied in with, you know, specific badges that you might have. So, you know, you might have a I'm an amazing vault builder type badge, and that will allow you to be able to collect more, to have more more showrooms.
Let's go.
And on the first point you mentioned, yeah, also funny you bring that up. I mean, one of the things that I've been scoping out recently is more like a services board for, within VeVe, where, there are people who are very good at selling on the market, or as you mentioned, there are people who are amazingly talented at setting up showrooms. And it would be awesome if there was some kind of service board where, I could advertise to say, hey, I've got, all of these collectibles. I want someone to come into my showroom and set it all up for me. And I think that would be a really nice, granular feature within the community. And as you mentioned, it would be it could be a paid service. I mean, some people might do it for love, but you could charge 50 gems to come in and really kit out your showroom and make it look really good. So yeah, funny you bring that up. I'm often surprised about how on the money the community is sometimes.
And just the last thing about the room deleting, we will be announcing the Ecomi utility. There's one of the part, the utility part will allow you to have, I believe, then, or is it the unlimited access to further rooms on part of that utility program.
Yeah, absolutely. So it'll be, and just a reminder that the Ecomi utility and the Master Collector utility are quite closely aligned, for the reason being that they are, they are all both designed to serve VeVe and to serve the collectors, to give them added extra features. So that will be one of the features spread across both of those programs.
Awesome. So I was trying to get some more ladies up here. Corinne from Cali, I can't get you up for some reason, so maybe just shoot me your question on Twitter. But let's move on to one quick question from Twitter. With the Disney drop and the Decon being so successful, have many new potential licensors reached out, and any that blow your mind? The answer is yes and yes. Let's move on to Wendy. Wendy, you have a question?
Yes. Hey, everyone. Hey, Alex. Hey, Dan.
Hey, Wendy.
It has been a long time since I talked to you, Alex. So, guys, I have a question about the accounts that has been banned. So what happens with the ownership of the collectibles? Because there is a big concern about those accounts that were banned. So how do they get again to their collectibles, or do they lose them? Or because I remember when I read the terms of condition of the app that says that when a account has been banned, that you have like a day or something to move their collectibles, or how does it work?
Yeah, so the way that works, we will never take away any collectibles from anyone, and legally we can't. That's someone has paid money for that, and they belong to you. So for the most part, we obviously do have terms and conditions. We do have some bad actors in the community. So any accounts that still remain banned will likely be unbanned, and again, it also depends on the conditions of the banning. But moving forward, anyone that we detect who might be a bot or a nefarious user, their account will go into restricted mode, and that restricted mode means that they still have 100% access to all of the collectibles that they purchased. However, there will be parts of the app that they won't have access to, and that could be the market, it could be the feed, but we will always do our absolute best to make sure that users will still always be able to access the items that they purchased.
So it means
sorry, Wendy, you continue.
No, go ahead, David. Sorry.
Yeah, I just want to emphasize that we're getting a lot of pressure from our fans who genuinely just want to participate and purchase these. So, we had to bring in a zero tolerance on these. And really, our idea is not to have anyone to be banned or restricted. So if everyone just used the app as they are designed to, it will work perfectly. But like Dan had mentioned, unfortunately, a lot of these bad actors out there trying to take advantage of other, and that's not fair. So, but just we want to make sure we express that we will not be keeping your collectibles or hold them forever. We do have plans, and we are working towards that plan. It's just that we don't have enough customer service to handle all the one that we ban at once, because obviously our users need to understand that during the decon and the Disney drop, there was a lot of accounts got put into restrictions, and obviously our customer service is not there, and we were not expecting this many people will be breaking it, because every single AMA, every single week, we emphasize we have zero tolerance on this. You might get around the bot detection the first time, second time, but we're going to catch you the third time. And unfortunately, a lot of these are just quite raw. They got away once, twice, the third time, bang, they got 50 collectible. Now it's been in restricted mode. But just rest assured, we're not here. We have no interest in keeping your collectibles. We just don't want you to be keep making these, moves to disadvantage our other users.
Thank you so much for the answer.
Thanks, Wendy. So good to meet you at DCon, by the way. Thanks for coming out all the way from Mexico City.
No problem. Thank you, guys.
Good times. All right. Let's see. Oh, I had somebody up and I lost her. Okay. Trying to get to some of the ladies, guys. Sorry. You know how I feel about these sausage parties. Corinne, you're not in yet. Sorry. I'm sorry. This queue is giving me issues today. So let's go ahead and we'll get to another known voice. Let's go with Mr. Rebel Duck himself, the man with the numbers, the man with the breakdowns and charts. He's still connecting. All right, so maybe you can hear me, maybe you can't. But let's go. We'll get somebody else up in the meantime. Sorry, everybody.
I just want everyone to know I do have to be off. I've missed 2 meetings already, and I got a real important one coming up. I can't miss this one. So
you see the sacrifices Mr. U makes for you, VeVe fan.
Let's go.
Meetings, all for the AMA. Thank you, David. Thanks for showing up. Appreciate it.
No problem.
Okay, let me keep moving here. Kind of keep momentum going. I'm sorry. Twitter is giving me issues at current time. I think I lost Rebel Duck too. All right. Well, Alexander Wolf, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I just wanted to say thank you for this opportunity for speaking, as well as I was at DCon and it was really great meeting the team. I'm really proud of the team that we have here. My question for you guys is mostly about the drops. So my brother had this idea of opening the marketplace after the drop, but holding back the most recent drop that happened because there's some issues with people losing opportunity cost. I was wondering if there's any idea of that happening.
I think, our perspective when we're approaching this kind of functionality in the app is to really to try to address the bigger issue, which we're aiming for, as discussed earlier on in the AMA, which is to have both the market and drops happening at the same time. And by making, technological moves like moving to a waiting room type system can help us achieve that goal. So we really spend our time focusing on those kind of global updates rather than what I would call, more of a Band-Aid solution. The idea your brother came up with is great, but I think it's better for us to focus on, reaching that greater goal of having both the drops and market open at the same time.
Okay, thank you. I had one more question from a Grubflow from auctions. If you could answer that or ask that really quick.
Sure thing.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, Alex. I didn't know that was Alex. Hey,
Good to see you.
The other Alex.
No, you know, sometimes I think his Twitter names get jumbled together, but it's Grebflow, son of Grebflow. Was Alex. Is Greb going to ask a question? Alex?
Here I am. I'm on Alex's account in the other room.
Got it.
Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, there was a delay on in the other room. Quick question to see if you know or if you're aware of this. I'm sure that you are. Some of us go through and we spend like an hour putting bids in auctions, and only to find out that when it shows our bids, it shows maybe 4 or 5, and not the 24 that we put in bids. And then to make matters worse, we get an update from VeVe. Instead of saying like there's 5 minutes left in an auction, it just kind of says you didn't win. And so it's really hard to keep track of what auctions we've bid on. Just wanted to know if you're aware of the issue, if you can look into it.
Yes, 100%. I am 100% aware of all of the issues in the app, as well as all the good things. There's obviously not one bit. But yes, market auctions are something that I've been working with the internal team to go through a bit of a design on. We decided that, you know, same kind of thing. We don't want to do a Band-Aid solution to it. We want to really, you know, have a fundamental update to the auction system. And that will improve things like, you know, more accurate countdown times, more accurate notifications, the ability to have fluctuating auction times. So, you know, maybe you want to do a 1 hour auction instead of a 3-day auction.
I like that.
Right. Auction. So, you know, I think like everything in the app, you know, we're always working towards improving everything. And as David mentioned before, you know, I think one thing that is important to understand is that, you know, right now we probably have 10 to 15 major projects going on in the background. Everything from MTL to Immutable to MCP. So, yeah, we really just ask that to be a little bit patient. Yeah. And we will absolutely be getting
patience. The update's beautiful, by the way, so I'll give you that. The update is beautiful. We really, really are enjoying it. Just wanted to make sure that that's in the queue because I haven't heard that one in a little while. That was all.
Yes, absolutely. No, I appreciate you bringing that up. Well, you can anticipate that every part of the app will always go through some form of evolution.
Brilliant. Thanks, Dan.
Thanks so much.
Thanks, Crib. All right. How are we looking, Dan? How much time you got?
I can go for a bit longer.
All right, great. Doctor on stage. What you got?
Hi guys. Greetings from Turkey. I have a few questions. First is, last couple of weeks there was a Metaverse boom, and despite VeVe is kind of Metaverse, there was not any movement in Ecomi or VeVe. Do you think, or do you plan to advertise the VeVe about the being a Metaverse and at least show some videos or pictures of upcoming VeVeverse?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you know, behind the scenes, we are working on the VeVeverse, but you know, I can't really comment on crypto movements. You know, it is a beast and a mind unto itself, and you know, people try to focus on what they focus on. Now, I do agree that metaverses have been the buzzword, especially over the last couple of months. But obviously, for us, you know, we have been thinking about this space for quite a long time, and you know, rather than, you know, hype something just to get a quick bit of news, we prefer to spend that time, you know, focusing on creating, you know, an amazing product. And I think that, you know, this trend of the metaverse is going to continue well into next year, and to be honest, probably into the future. So, yeah, I'm not going to just release any information just to jump on a hype wagon. We don't really sort of work like that.
Okay, and I would like to see some game NFTs in VeVeverse. Do you have any plans like statues of WoW or Final Fantasy 14, etc.?
Yeah, I would like to see games in the metaverse as well, but we haven't really released much information about the VeVeverse yet, so I'm not going to comment on it too early. What I would recommend is just waiting till we do start releasing information, and then we will. Then you'll be a little bit more up to date as to what we're doing. However, we have stated in the past that gamification in itself is a very complicated thing. You know, some of these AAA games that come out, even smaller, simple games, can be years in the making. So I think it's just something to consider. There is a difference between, you know, a metaverse and, you know, like a full-on game, and it's, you know, for us, we'll be focusing on very specific areas.
I think that last part of his question had to do with gaming IP as collectibles.
Oh, gaming IP?
Right.
Yeah, well, you know, I mean, as the community knows, we generally don't announce, you know, what brands are coming in. But as to what David touched on before, is that we, you know, our philosophy from the beginning has been, you know, everyone is a fan of something. And that's why we're constantly bringing in, you know, new things like stamps that are from a very different sort of collectible. So I would also hope that will expand into gaming in the future as well.
Right on. All right. I'm trying to get to as many new voices as possible. So no shade to Taps or Cavella. I see you in the my tweets and in my queue here, but I'm trying to get through as many new voices as possible, given the amount of new users we have on the platform. Just want to make sure everybody gets to it. That said, let's move on to Cuban LP, or I don't know how you say that, but hello.
Hey guys, thank you for inviting me up. Congratulations for all of us, the success we have had here in VeVe. And my question is for Dan. In the future, we know that there's going to be land available for the VeVeverse. What criteria are you guys looking at to, my understanding is that there's going to be based on invite, the first drops you guys are going to do. So what criteria are you guys looking into, you know, for those that are going to be invited first, and, you know, if we can get a little bit more details into that.
Yeah, so just for the new users in the community, we have previously discussed that, you know, obviously there's a huge explosion of digital land in the world right now. And, you know, following some of these projects, I guess same in any crypto project, that you can end up with certain individuals who might gobble up all of the land. But VeVe in itself, you know, we really try to be all-inclusive wherever we can, which is why we drop the collectibles for the price we do, why we drop the edition numbers we do. So, you know, for us, it's just about making sure that it's fair, that, you know, people get to participate in all aspects, and that, you know, regardless of whether you're, you know, a minnow or a whale. So I won't go into any specific details. Again, same as the last question, we haven't released really much details about that functionality yet. So just, if you don't mind, again, just being a little bit patient, we will be getting to it.
No, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
All right, thank you. Moving on to Carpet Wheel. Carpet, you there?
Yep, I'm here.
Hey.
Hey, question. I think this was already asked too. With the raffle system, it is not limited, right? The how many tickets you can buy?
Yep, 100%. It will be an unlimited amount of tickets, so you can spend either all of your points or a small amount of them.
All right. Yep, that was my only question. Thanks, guys.
Cool. You know, the thought behind that is that if people who go all in on their tickets for a certain drop, you know, they don't get those points back, so that it kind of opens up a whole new crop of people that can participate in the next lottery.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
I'm glad you guys thought that through, and you are gonna, you know, put it in and involve it with the app, and I just love the app. And I'm a new user myself, and I'm hooked. I just got in with the Disney drops, and I just been so hooked. And I wish I would have found out about it sooner. And every day I look at the market and I see everything. I'm like, oh my God! But I'm still grateful that I was able to make it. I secured an R2D2. And I'm just happy with that. Nice.
Solid. Go follow this guy. I just retweeted him.
Thank you.
Carpet Will.
Welcome to the VeVe fam.
All right, guys. Thank you guys so much.
All right. Take care. All right. Let's move on to Nexus. What up?
What up, Alex? Hey, guys. Thank you for having me up here. So it's not really a question. It's more like an idea for you guys, Dan. I don't know if you guys been thinking about this, but going back to the other question previously, like I just had this epiphany, like which would be dope. In the showrooms, do you guys think, like similar to Capcom Arcade Stadium and the Nintendo Switch, do you guys think you would ever be open to the idea of getting licenses from arcades like Capcom, Nintendo, etc., to be able to put in an arcade system in the showroom and use the OMI token to burn for playable access, and also maybe an arcade system which someone like True Tech Junkie can create their finally their claw and put it in there and add Mermicornos, Unicornos, and you could play them and win a prize. And if you get the prize, you get the collectible, but you're also burning OMI for every chance. What do you think about that?
Yeah, remember I said earlier I'm often very surprised about how on the money the community is. I think Dave and I and everyone else in the team, we basically live and breathe this every day, and a lot of the ideas that come through the AMA are already on our wish list or our hope to get to list, but mostly because we also think that that would be awesome if you could do that. I mean, how awesome would it be if you could have an arcade machine that was playable? Even visitors coming into your showroom could play it. Like maybe, and this is absolutely not confirmation, but
it's confirmation.
It would be amazing if there was something like a Pac-Man game that if you owned, and let's say I came into your showroom, and then I would have to pay pay 1 gem to play that game, and maybe you as the showroom owner get a portion of that. I think it's a very, very cool idea, something that we have explored. Won't be happening in 2021, but yeah, I do appreciate the idea.
Awesome, man. Like, yo, Dan, I'm just saying, I'm trying to look at every opportunity to burn OMI, my brother. That's it. Like, I need all of them burnt.
Burn, baby.
All right, well, thank you, Nexus. We'll catch you.
Thank you, guys.
Later in Spaces.
Thank you.
All right. Well, did we achieve greatness, Corinne from Cali? Are we here?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
All right. Hey.
All right. First of all, welcome all new users. Welcome to the VeVe fam. This is an amazing community. And then, of course, Dan, David, Alex, the rest of you guys, women of VeVe. Amazing work. So I have a list of some questions. Let's see how many we can get through. But the first one kind of resonates. Yeah, but I think they're all good questions. The first one going to like the MCP as far as the comics and the secret rares. I think that's amazing that you increase the points for the secret rares. And I don't know, I missed the first 15 minutes, so I don't know if this was covered. But do the secret rare comic sets, if you have a set, does that also get you the 100 points for completing a set, or is it just individual points per comic?
So previously in MCP 0.1, we had points for comic series, where if you owned all of the comics in a series that were above 3 comics, you would get points. However, in order to maintain those points, you would have to continuously buy everything in those series. And there was also another layer of complication, which was that if you could technically own all comics in a series by buying up all the commons, or you could own all comics in a series by buying up all the secret rares if you were lucky enough. So there were a lot of kind of holes that we thought made the comic series just a little bit too confusing when everything else in the Master Collector program is quite straightforward. You do X, you get Y, etc. So for that reason, we actually have decided to drop comic series from the points table. And in order to compensate for that, we have increased the comic points.
Okay, perfect. So then that brings me to my next question. In the Women of VeVe stream that we did with Uncle Jeremy Padower, one of the questions or topics that we talked about was mint numbers versus grading systems. So in the real world, you take a comic or a card and to get graded, it's graded based off of wear and tear and all that other stuff. So if one of you guys could expand on this a little bit, one thing that Uncle Jeremy had said was that the mints were going to basically be the new way that NFTs were graded, meaning like the top 1% graded would be like a 9.910, top 3%, 9.6 to 9.8, top 5%, 9.5, top 10%, 9.0 and up. Can you elaborate on that a little bit? And obviously it hasn't been put into place yet, but would you say that mint editions are going to be the new way or the way that we are going to grade these NFTs?
I would say yeah.
Yeah, so David and I have discussed this quite a lot. Obviously with, both, especially more so David, but, both of us being collectors, we understand that in the physical world, collectibles or comics or whatever it is graded based on a number of real world, let's say problems, like you say, what's the wear and tear on the comic, etc. The digital world is very, very different. And really, if you were going to grade something in the digital world, as Uncle Jeremy, as you so affectionately put it, really the only way we could grade something is, on a mint number, because obviously a digital collectible will never deteriorate like it would in the physical world. And obviously this is something that we're always open to, but for now, we decided that we don't really know if that is enough data to grant some form of grading. I mean, the grading itself is inherent in the fact that you have a low mint. So whether it needs another grade on top of that, that's something that we're still a bit 50-50 about.
Okay, perfect. So then, not to bounce back to the mint editions, I noticed in the version 2 it said sub 300, but then you mentioned that it's actually just to make it easier because of all the different editions of some of the collectibles. It was going to be of the 5%. So is there going to be the same amount of points given for, say, a sub 100 as a number like 255 or something like that? Is it going to be the same amount of points for Master Collector?
Yes, there is. One of the things that we need to be careful about is getting too granular with the Master Collector program. There's already multiple different pathways that you can take and different options that you can stack. And, it would be potentially possible for us to do that, but, we do need to kind of draw the line somewhere. And also we need to remember that the MCP system is like a side game. The real game is owning that secret rare or owning that specific collectible. So we decided to draw the line at a certain level of depth.
Okay, absolutely. Yes, no, that's you're definitely right with that. I mean, all of these collectibles are amazing, but having a low mint, I agree with that. And will there be a place that we could put like a note, like say for instance, there's special mint numbers, or not just special mint numbers, but say like for one of the Disneys, the Disney park opened in 1955. If you have, say a special year or something, that there will be like a note section where maybe we could put like, this is the year that blah, 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 Disney park opened, or something to attach to our collectible.
I hadn't thought of the ability to add notes, but I do quite like that. Someone could even write the story as to how they finally managed to get their edition 888 or, whatever it is. So, let me have a think about that one.
Okay. And then I think this is probably the last one, but I know originally, years ago, when you guys started, it was going to be a closed blockchain, closed marketplace, and so all the licenses that you had acquired before, you had to kind of renegotiate those licenses to see which licensors would agree to go to either OpenSea or Immutable or whatnot. So is it okay? I mean, there's a lot of speculation going on. Would you say from now and moving forward, or since the announcement was made that we're actually going to be moving over to Immutable X, that any new contracts or licenses or drops that we have, is it up to the licensor whether or not they want to stay closed platform, or is it basically they have to agree, or it's in the contract now that they have to agree to be able to go off chain since we are moving to Immutable?
If only we had the power to force the licenses to do something we wanted to do, that would be great. But no, I mean, we are, at the end of the day, we are a licensee, and there are licensors that are out there who are open to interoperability, and there are licensors out there who, I won't say they're close to it, but I think their position is that, like David mentioned earlier, it is a very, very new space. And some of the players, especially the bigger guys, they more than likely want to see how this is going to pan out over the long term, but before they become interoperable. But also, as I mentioned earlier, my personal belief is that interoperability is the future. I think I've mentioned on a couple of earlier AMAs that a lot of the artist type work that we have in the app is more than likely going to be the third interoperable content. And then I'm sure what we're going to see is that, those awesome artworks or sculptures are going to go out into the open marketplace. They might command higher prices and, bring in further revenues. And that is, as you can imagine, for any business, is a very attractive proposition. So I really think it's just these big companies need some time to see how this brand new industry is going to play out. And then based on that, and assuming it goes well, which, I mean, hey, NFTs just booming everywhere, more likely that's going to happen. But to answer your question, unfortunately, no, we aren't in the arm twisting position quite just yet.
Okay. Well, great. Thanks, Dan, for answering all my questions, and Alex for bringing me up. I think that's it. So I will go ahead and pass myself on. Thank you, guys.
Thanks very much. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Corinne. Let's move on to OMW. What up?
What's going on, Alex? Hey, David. Congratulations, first and foremost. Disney Decon, hoo-ha. Some sleep, hopefully. So my main question is a little bit of a two-parter. First and foremost, I know that when we started this project, when it went live a little over a year ago, you guys mentioned you guys had about 100 brands or licenses under your belt ready to go out. We currently have 55 brands on the app. I just wanted to know, and I know that you guys have been getting plenty of phone calls every single week with licensors begging you if they can go back onto your app platform. So I just wanted to know, did we add an extra 0 to that 100? Currently, do we have 1,000 potential brands or licensors in our queue?
Don't know about an extra 0, but I would say that there would definitely be extra hundreds for sure.
Hundreds, okay, I like that. Thank you. I do appreciate that. And my second question is, I know that you guys had a ton of feedback over this past week or so. I know that with Decom, these artists might have been very, very surprised at how fast that they have sold out, and it was a big hit for you guys. What's the next big thing? I know you guys have a lot of things on your plate, Immutable X, MTL, just a plethora, but what is the next big thing that you think it is that we don't know of? If you can,
Well,
are you?
I don't think I can say it. Yeah, I mean, you're asking for secret future information. I think right now what we'll do is, there's a lot of stuff on the table right now, and our immediate objective is, now that Disney Week and Decon Weekend are out of the way, is to really work as hard as we can to get a lot of those things across the line. So I'll just say, watch the space, and I'm sure David Yu's going to let something slip at some point in the future. So you'll just have to keep listening.
Perfect. That was all the questions that I actually had. One last community question from all of our developers. They just wanted to know how's the public API progress going?
That is on. I can't actually say we are actively pursuing that at the moment. However, if I understand correctly, I believe that once we are reminted on Immutable, that there will be a way to pull data from their chain. I'll need to confirm that, but we do understand that there is a community demand for APIs. But I think the thing to remember is that every single API every external platform that's using the API is also hitting our back end. So we need to have a very strategic approach as to how we supply that information, so it doesn't affect our overall platform, if that makes sense.
100%. Thanks so much. I appreciate you. I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend, and congratulations again.
Thank you.
Thanks, man. All right. Well, last few here, and then we'll wrap it up for today. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. A record-breaking room for us this time, space rather. And again, welcome to all of the new members of the VeVe fam. With that said, let's move on to Vale or Vale.
Hey guys, thank you for bringing me up. First of all, greetings from Germany. I got a question, it might be a selfish one. It's related to the last decon drops from last week. I managed to secure myself an NFT from Cozyden drop. However, I still got the order pending. And when I look at the mint number, it still says that like 20 edition left to be delivered. Is the team aware of this, or yeah?
Yes, we are. This is one of the reasons that we are moving to the waiting room system. If you have a pending order message, 5 days on, I'm sorry to tell you that you probably haven't got that edition, or it probably hasn't been reserved. And as you probably know, all of those editions are sold out. So, with the new waiting room system, as I'm not sure if you were here earlier in the AMA, it is significantly more efficient and will allow us, or really just allow the back-end servers to be able to process orders. That particular pending order was an issue that came up only recently, just with the massive influx of users. So I do apologize that has happened to you, and I do also apologize for having to break the bad news. But we've already got steps and measures in place to ensure that we are improving the experience across the board for everyone.
Okay, sure, I understand. That's no problem. And about the gems that got deducted, I think that they will be maybe refunded.
They 100% will be.
Okay, thank you very much, and thank you for your time, guys.
Oh, thank you. Well, boy, Alex, thank you. Very international audience today.
Yeah, good stuff.
Turkey, UK, America.
All right. So we got some, I see some OGs. Some people have been waiting here the entire time. So instead of making me the bad guy, I'm going to make you the bad guy. Who do you want to pull up next?
Way to put me on the spot. Who's
we got, let's see, we got Taps, Cavell, Khaki, Kay, and Chavez. And David.
Let's go in that order.
Oh, you want to go out? Well, look at you. Feeling generous today. Here I was trying to get new voices. All right, let's do Cavell because he had a funny tweet. All right, he's still connecting. Sorry, let me get a couple more people.
Hello.
Up here. Cavell, before you ask your question, I have two for you. One, are you still wearing your wig? And
I definitely am on stream right now.
Okay, great. Very good. And two, when can I get some of that unauthorized VeVe merch?
Yo, I literally asked Reese, and he said that, yeah, as long as I remove the TM.
Oh, okay. So it's authorized but unofficial is what I thought.
I get Reese as the official merchandising guy in the company now.
Shout out to all the hustlers in the VeVe family, straight up selling their own VeVe merch.
Well, can somebody
free
can
advertising.
I get in contact with somebody who can actually authorize that then?
Hit up David on Twitter.
Okay.
No, I'm just giving you a hard time. All right, what you got, Cavell?
I was curious actually about the as far as the capture and stuff goes, like why there isn't like capture or anything on like the drops, like, or a text confirmation or something like that, because I don't think that couldn't that prevent bots? I'm not sure.
Have you not been listening to this whole AMA, Cavell?
Yeah, I mean, I have heard. I haven't really heard why text confirmation or something couldn't be put into place. Like, because from the videos that we see, it looks like there's absolutely no defense against bots. They just, like, I see somebody getting 10 collectibles and not one capture or anything.
Yeah, so I think that, like I mentioned earlier, working with bots is very much a whack-a-mole type system. Sometimes the bot user will get ahead. Most of the time, the bot prevention or security companies are very much ahead of the game. VeVe has multiple levels of bot protection. Now, as I've said in a number of AMAs, there's always, every once a month or so, there's some bot videos that surface, and it causes a massive hoo-ha in the community. But right now, there is a capture system in place, but it only shows if it detects that you're a bot. Now, just so you understand, a capture is basically the lowest form of bot protection, that you can use. So we don't 100% rely on the capture. It's just there as a secondary backup. We use other partners and providers that have a much wider scope of bot protection. But also, as I mentioned earlier, this is a solution. This is a problem that is across many different industries. And on our side, what we can do is the best we can make sure we're partnering with the best people. And the people we have partnered with, 10x the amount of traffic we have for brands that are 100 times bigger than VeVe. But does that mean some won't flip through every now and then? No, it doesn't. And that's why I mentioned earlier that, one of the reasons we have decided to show the profiles of sellers is so now and into the future, especially as we roll out the MCP, the community can also do their part about, not supporting. I mean, you wouldn't go and buy something off someone who, was selling something dodgy. So it really is sort of a two-way street. We're doing everything we can on our side. And, I really just implore the community to make sure that you're buying off someone who is a legitimate user. And I know that right now that's not 100% clear, but as the Master Collector program rolls out, it'll be very easy to, see what level someone is. Maybe they've got great ratings from other traders. And it will become, very much have the ability to sort of pick and choose. Unless you're just going for the lowest price. If you're going for the lowest price, then that is what it is.
Okay. And can I ask a couple of more questions? Like 2 or 3?
You can go for one.
We have a couple people left in the queue. We gotta move on. But no shade, because I love you, but we gotta move on.
Okay, so how far? I want to know how far along is the development of the first iteration of the VeVe, and is there any updates on like timeline, like just like the first basic version, not anything crazy?
No, there's not. And as I've mentioned a number of times in this AMA, we'll release information on the VeVeverse when we feel the timing is right.
All right. Thank you, Cavell, for your time. Taps, what's up? Hello, Taps. Or should I say Traps?
Oh, can you hear me now? You said to say Traps. Now you can hear me.
There you go.
It was great meeting you guys at DCon at Fun of the Fam, and I have 2 quick questions, if I'll get through them pretty quick here. The first question I had was, you guys talked about the new waiting room style that we'll be moving to eventually. Will that significantly help with bots in the future, and do we know roughly a timeline for that?
Yep, I mentioned earlier in the AMA that we're aiming for the end of this year or very early in January. That the development of that whole system is already underway, but as you can appreciate, it is a core part of the VeVe experience. So before we roll it out, we just need to make sure that, you know, it's been fully load tested and everything across the board is working. But we also do recognize that, you know, it is something that we need to get updated, just purely because of the massive number of users that have come into the platform recently. Will it prevent bots? I mean, not necessarily. I mean, a waiting room system is just another method of delivering collectibles. But like I said earlier, you know, recently we have really stepped up the bot protection to the point that, and honestly, I was joking about this with Dave the other day, that, you know, now we're actually having to pay tens of thousands of dollars a month to stop people buying our products, which is never a business I thought I would be in. So I think you know, what we can expect on the bot protection side is that our system will continue to evolve and get better and better. There's no one-stop shop for bots. You know, they like the security teams are always, you know, looking for new workarounds or, you know, new vulnerabilities or exploitations. So it very much is a whack-a-mole type scenario. Most of the time we're ahead of that, but as I just mentioned earlier, that you know, sometimes the bots manage to slip through.
No, that makes sense. Awesome. Thanks for confirming that. And then my second question, last question is, we're ending the end of the year, and VeVe is, you know, a centralized platform. And if you're in a country like ours, you get, you know, pay tax like crazy, right? So I guess my question is, while we're buying and selling and trading our assets, is there going to be like a 1094 or 1095 that's sent out beginning of next year for us to report those taxes? And is that something that we should be considering, or how does that work?
Well, I mean, you know, really, if we were to implement something like that, it would have to be on a global level. And, you know, I think a business like ours, and if I could, you know, if we use any other exchanges, for example, you know, they won't be doing that for you. However, with the web platform, once that rolls out, we will have the ability for users to more easily generate reports of, you know, what came in, what came out over a certain amount of time, because we understand that, you know, there is a lot of value going in and a lot of value coming out of these collectibles, and people do need to have some form of financial report. So, yeah, once we get the web platform live, that is one of the options that are on the list.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Right on. David, what is up?
Oh my God, I never thought I'd finally make it. What's up, guys?
I know, right? I mean, who would have thought? You give me enough. You give me enough flack for not bringing you up in the past, so I figured, you know, throw you a solid.
It was good meeting you at Decon, Alex, for real.
Likewise.
First off, guys, we got to get better. So let's create an FAQ or something for these AMAs. This way, Dan's not repeating himself a million times. That's one easy suggestion, said and done. 2, money transfer license, Dan, if you don't mind. I know we keep saying, like, hey, we're a collectibles app, but the gems conversion, to be able to essentially retrieve liquidity for some people that have been in the app for a really long time is really, really difficult. And I get the collection, like the collecting part, but I think it's really important for us to know, like, when, do we have an exact date when that's actually going to happen?
Well, just to throw it right back at you, I did mention probably an hour ago that the MTL is getting rolled out to production next week. And that will be...
when you say rolled out to production, what does that mean?
Sorry. That means getting rolled out to the live app environment. Up until now, it's been internal, you know, doing a lot of testing. So from next week, it'll be rolled out to the live app, which, you know, everyone here uses.
Let's go.
And then also, as we've covered a number of times, it's going to be rolled out in a stage process.
So I guess that's my question. Like, what's the final date where everyone will have the ability to...
I actually can't say that, because the whole idea of this rolled out approach, I mean, hey, it may go perfect and everyone might be able to come on board real quick. But the idea of rolling out something in a staggered approach is so that we can address any issues. And we do need to be very careful because why? We're dealing with money and we're dealing with finances. So, I've said many times in AMAs that I would always prefer to err on the side of caution rather than rush something out to meet a demand. So rest assured, it has been in development for a long time. It's been a monumental effort for us internally to get everything across the line. And, oh God, I hate to say it, hashtag soon. Hashtag very soon. It's rolling out to production. And then it will
I think that's infuriating people at this point, but, I love it. And I love you.
I should tweet that. Hashtag soon.
Thank you, David. Appreciate you. Let's move on to Sparky, and then we'll go Kay.
Okay. Hi. So, I just have one question, and it is when we do, well, I asked it last time, so I'm wondering if there is an answer for it. When we do go to Immutable, will the collectibles and comics withhold their release dates, or will it be the new Immutable date?
Yes, I do remember you asking that question, and I am 90% sure that it will have all of the historic information.
Awesome. Thank you. That's it.
Thanks, Sparky.
Thank you.
Kay, what's up?
Hey guys. Hey Alex. Hey Dan. It's been a hey. Yeah, I've been enjoying our repetitive conversations this week, Dan.
We have a lot of new users, so it's beneficial for some of these things to be repeated, even though these OGs get tired. But I'm sorry to disappoint everybody who's heard this many times, but we have a lot of new users on there who love to hear this for the first time.
Yeah, it's quite funny. So just I just had a question and a request. Just request-wise, recently we did like a really, really big community quiz with Kahoot. We had Trevor and Reese on to co-host. We're going to be doing a Christmas. We're going to be doing a Christmas one. So this also extends to you, Alex. If we could at some point kind of finalize a date, we'd like to kind of like invite you to either kind of join in and make the first part like an AMA, or just if you guys want to do like a cameo, say hi. Say some words, and I understand you guys probably have your like busy schedules and whatnot. So that's the first thing. Second one is the question. Quick one is, so the conspiracy theory is there must always be an Edo, and the new Edo seems to be the James Bond rare, which in the description says we'll find out about something middle of October, which is kind of past now. So I don't know if that's like it's not supposed to be changed, updated for a new date. We wouldn't be VeVe if we met a deadline. So we can't break now.
Yeah. So the good news is on that, Kate, is not the new Edo. We do have I think a tentative new date that we'll be communicating shortly. It was just one of those things I think we mentioned on the previous AMA, or I may have mentioned it in the space at some point, but that took a little extra TLC because not only did we want to get it correct, that there was some back and forth with the licensor to make sure that it was product correct and all those sorts of things. But we'll say, and if you don't mind me saying so, Dan, that we can expect to see that in the coming next couple weeks, along with some news on some additional Bond collectibles.
Oh, James Bond.
I think we can say that, which is lucky because you just did it.
Hey, I did my best you impression.
Very good.
David,
Awesome. Thank you guys. Just a quick one, Dan. One of your acquaintances said that you look like Paul Walker, and I just can't get it out of my head now. Like I cannot unsee it.
Well, hey, you know what? You're not the first person to say that. And hit me up about the quiz on Twitter or something. We can see if we can work out a date.
Yes, awesome. Sounds good. Cool. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Great. All right, how are we looking, Dan? We wrapping it up, or you got one more on Kenya?
May as well keep going while we're here.
Okay. All right. How's everybody feeling? Good. Let me see. There's still like 1,400 people here, so throw up those hundreds if you want to keep going.
Everyone's gonna throw them up. Throw up the hundreds.
There we go.
I don't think I can.
Love it. All right.
How do you
let's go here?
Do you know how to on the desktop?
Mr. Chavez. Let's see here. All right, Mr. Chavez, it was an absolute pleasure getting to meet you at DCon. Thank you for coming all the way out. What can we answer for you?
Yeah, that was great to meet you guys too. This might have been my mistake. I might have misheard it, but I thought we were already in phase 2 in the Immutable X migration. But could you elaborate on what David said before when he said going into phase 2 in the next short while?
Can't quite remember what David said, but this week we should be moving into phase 2. There's just a few more optimizations that we need to do on our side. Obviously, every passing week we're minting hundreds of thousands more collectibles. So we're sort of sprinting on the collectible side, and the development side needs to keep up. So keep your eye out on the Ecomi Twitter this coming week, and hopefully we should be announcing that we're moving into phase 2. And just for the people who are new and may not be aware, phase 2 is when we are basically reminting all of the NFTs on the Immutable chain.
All right, copy that. That was it. Thank you guys very much. I love you all, and I'll talk to y'all later. All right, bye-bye.
All right, thanks. All right, Khaki, what's up?
Oh, what's going on, Dan? Always good to be up here on the stage, man. So I have one part that was a suggestion on the grading system, and then another small question on it. So do you think it would make sense for us to, on top of the mint, for grading collectibles and comic books, if we had some kind of track record of the amount of transactions that a collectible or comic book has been involved in? So let's say if I buy one comic book for retail, that's only one transaction on it. The more times it's traded or put into the market, the more it counts against that grade for that particular collectible, which would incentivize people for buying and holding. So, if you're hit for something good on the market, then, that would be something that would be actually implemented into grading one of the collectibles on the app.
So your idea reminds me of, when I used to look through the newspaper back in the day, and I would see an advertisement for a car that was for sale, and it would be like one owner. And, with a car, that kind of makes sense. It's if it's one owner for 30 years, then it's probably been very well looked after. But, in the digital space, we need to think about not only just now, but, many years in the future. And it's inevitable that, various collectibles will change hands many, many times. And I'll need to put some more thought into it, but I'm not 100% sure if it would be fair to downgrade a collectible, a digital collectible, because it had changed hands many times. You know what I mean? Otherwise, over time, a collectible would potentially become less and less valuable if you were following the grade. Whether that would be a fair proposition for collectors in the future. So I'd need to dive into that a little bit to see whether it was valid from my perspective.
You answered it perfectly, because that was a discussion that we had previous to this space. Us and the small people that, shout out to Jay Tokes, who's always hosting early morning spaces, man. But me and another guy was kind of bouncing off of each other, trying to figure out if the general public, and we use the same analogy that you used with the car, if that applies to comics. So we asked these questions to the experts, so that was a good enough answer for us. We're satisfied with that answer. The second part is, so I just purchased an Oculus for me and my kids, 2 different headsets, and when the VeVe-verse rolls out, or is it in the foresight, and it doesn't have to be this year, but it would be amazing if at some point we were able to navigate and build our showrooms, which would be amazing because I think all of the Vodaholics would start to do their building through these Oculus headsets or VR headset where you can pick up and place things, with the controllers. Is that something within the next couple of years that we would be able to do, you think, experience in our vaults and our collectibles while using these virtual reality headsets, or are we more on, building the VeVe-verse on a non-virtual reality type format?
Yeah, I mean, I think, when I look at those kind of features, we need to have a look at the, where that technology is now, how big is its user base, and other various factors like that. And, right now, I believe that either desktop or augmented reality are the technologies that will probably, continue to gain more traction in the short term. For the reason being that, AR is now so accessible through your phone, which, let's face it, the majority of people in the world have a phone. And then you've got things like VR, like the Oculus Rift. And I do believe that VR will gain traction. And again, this is my personal rant. I do believe that VR will gain traction in the future as that kind of technology becomes more accessible, and the experiences within VR become more ubiquitous. In the sense that I can actually go in there and I can maybe control my computer, or just be a little bit more versed in it rather than going into a single experience. So it absolutely is on our radar. We keep a very close eye on anything that is virtual reality in the sense of Oculus Rift or virtual reality, whether it's on a desktop or AR. I mean, these are kind of core parts of our product offering right now. So it is something we are definitely looking at, and I hope it'll come in the future, but it will also depend on how that market goes between now and when we decide to roll something like that out.
All right, awesome, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Kaki. Let's go to Lisa. Lisa, how are you doing?
Hi, everybody. Thanks very much for inviting me up to speak. I would just like to say that this week it's just related to the buy now button. I had a phenomenon this week where I actually had a buy now button for around 70 minutes before I finally gave up on it. So the question is really just when it comes to bounce backs and things like that, I'm just wondering how quick do the actual mints sell out? Obviously, I'm not going to do that again. 70 minutes was very extreme.
We are aware of that one, and also this is one of the reasons why we will be moving to a more efficient waiting room type system. Now, in terms of the, I think it's called rebound gate, or whatever the term is, it's actually very difficult to give you a definitive timeline, because the way that it works is the way the payment system works right now is that you get allocated a reservation. And if you pay for that reservation in the required amount of time, then you get to secure that collectible. However, for various reasons, there might be users who decide not to take it, or maybe they have an issue, and then that reservation goes back into the public pool. And it's at that point that, if you're hanging around in the screen with the buy now button, you can potentially pick one up after the fact. However, with the new waiting room system that we have coming in, that will 99.9% never happen, because all of the allocations will basically be delivered to the selected participants at the time of the drop.
Okay, Dan, thanks for that.
All right, thank you, Lisa. LNL Mama. Hello. LNL Mama, are you there?
Looks like she's connecting. Alex, let's go for maybe another one or two more, because I know it's getting...
I'm here. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Sorry, my mic was off. Just a couple quick questions. So, vault-wise,
trying to add the collectibles to the vault. Are you guys going to make it a little easier to find a certain collectible to put in there quicker versus having to scroll through them all?
Yes, we certainly are. I don't know why all the newest collectibles at the end of that list at the moment, but we already have actually built out a lot of those new updates. So the way that it will work in the future is kind of similar to your My Collectibles screen, where you can, it'll always show your latest ones at the beginning. And then if you're in your My Collectibles page, it will show you all of the brand tags across the top. So it'll be very easy for you to filter and find the ones you want.
Oh, perfect. Okay. And then one more question. Will we ever get a notification of when our collectible is delivered from drop? So I'm not checking the app every 0.3 seconds?
That's a good one, man.
The answer is no, but the answer is only no because we are moving to this new payment system, and that payment system will be significantly more efficient. So even though the elation and the excitement of waiting a couple of hours for that collectible to be delivered is kind of fun, it'll be far more immediate with the rollout of this new drop method.
Okay, perfect. Sweet. Okay, well, thank you so much.
Thank you, LNL. All right, Crypto G, what up?
Hey, what's going on? Thanks for having me up, and it was great meeting everyone at DCon.
Likewise.
So, I've asked pretty much everyone this, and no one has had a great answer. What's the story behind selecting the name Ecomi? We all say Ecomi, we know the tokens owe me. No one seems to know what it means.
I think Alfred Kahn made it up.
It's actually a very, very similar story to how we arrived at the name VeVe, which was basically going through lists of hundreds of names, what domains were available, what trademarks were available, we were just looking for something that had a unique name and kind of rolled off the tongue. But yeah, I mean, with Ecomi, there's no real, amazing story behind it.
All right, thank you very much. I was hoping for more.
All right.
Disappointed.
It just rolls off the tongue. Don't you agree?
It does. Thank you very much.
All right, thanks, Chris. All right, hey, David Hughes back. Did you finish your meetings, David?
Yeah, I had to take a really important call. Wow.
Right. Anything you want to leak to us at this point?
It's another amazing. We got a really, really top of the top artist coming into VeVe, which we can't announce yet because it's going to blow the roof off. So
let's go, Carl.
It's kind of like the after we get a little sneak peek.
Oh man, it's really amazing.
Steve Aoki?
It's good. It's great. I don't get many great calls these days, but that's a very good call.
Let's go.
Yes. Hopefully the audience are all happy. How's the vibe?
Vibe seems good. Obviously we had been going at this for about 2.5 hours now. So hopefully we got everybody's questions answered. And there will be a Twitter recap. I don't know if I'll get to it all tonight because it's already 5:30 on a Friday. But
yeah, Dave, we're just about to wrap up actually. So you came in just at the right time.
Just at the right time.
Yeah. And I just want to emphasize again that no matter how big the platform gets and the brands that we have coming in, our job and our heart is to make sure that the artists are represented equally in our platform. It is so important for me as a collector, and these young artists or OG artists are the artists who created the joy that is going into these collectibles. I mean, someone had to be joined Walt Disney, someone had to be joined that Lion King, or someone had to be joined that character that you love. So it is important. I just want all our fans to understand how important it is to have this artist section and continue to roll it out. And DCon has demonstrated our fan base, your voice is very loud, that we need to continue to bring these cool artists out. Yeah, so I just want to thank everyone again for all the support on it, because we didn't know how Decon was going to go down, because it is very, from one major corporation to all these indie artists and, you know, the story behind it. So you guys blown everything I expected out. Everyone is level 9,000 collected during that weekend, I tell you. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, David.
Oh, has Dan left? Okay.
No, he's still here. Oh, wait, maybe he dropped. Hold on.
Oh, I see my hair's there. I like
Your hair is in the chat? Yeah. Nice. You back, Dan?
That's hilarious.
I sure am.
Okay.
Yeah, I was just thanking everyone again for the Decon weekend, because it's our first really designer focus and artist focus, talent focus. And I was just saying, everyone's a level 9,000 collector for that weekend. It just went down so well.
100%.
Blown my mind. It's beyond our expectation. And because of that, we got some really big names coming.
Yeah.
So you guys earned it all. Everyone, the VeVe community, you guys is gonna have some wild time coming out.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, I gotta say, for the fam that came out and represented in person, and everybody who bought on the drops, Decon and the people that represent the artists and the artists themselves definitely felt the vibe, felt the energy, enjoyed everything that was happening over the course of the weekend, and even those who were tentative were believers by the end of the weekend. And we have you to thank for that, VeVe fam. You guys really came out and represented hard, and I gotta say, it exceeded any expectation that I think I ever even had in my head about meeting all of you in person. You know, I've spent a lot of time obviously on Twitter and in Twitter Spaces and these AMAs, etc., but everybody was just absolutely delightful, and I cannot wait to do it again. So thank you very much for everybody who came out, and we hope to get all of you, you know, out at a future event sometime soon.
Absolutely. Hopefully David and I can get to attend the other one, the next one, whatever it is, and get to meet everyone. We can't let Alex, Reese, and Noah get all the glory.
Well, you know,
I'm definitely going to the next one.
The best parties.
Well, yeah, I need to attend one of these Alex parties.
Yeah, everyone's talking about this party. Even Cole being on, saying, "Oh, did you go to the Alex party? Did you hear about the Alex party?" Yeah, so
just how I roll, guys.
Yeah. I think over the next few weeks, David, all the goss will come out, so we'll find out.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Okay.
thank you again, everybody. Sorry for everybody who we did not get to in the queue. The queue was long today. Obviously, there was over 2,000 people in the space at some point. Welcome to all the new users. Please don't hesitate to reach out to us on Twitter if you have questions. You didn't get your question answered today, or we'll be on the lookout for the Twitter recap or the Space AMA recap that we'll do either tonight or first thing tomorrow morning. And also, please remember that we have a drop tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Pacific with Storm from the X-Men. This is an amazing collectible. She looks absolutely fierce. 5 rarities in a blind box, $50. The link is up here in the pin to the top, so click through and get all the info and set your alarm for Saturday morning if you're on the West Coast or earlier. Any parting words, David or Dan?
Yeah, I mean, look out for the Only Utility token first draft coming out, and we hope everyone's going to be happier with what we have put together.
Big things are coming.
Yeah, and just most important, please don't use script, bots, anything. We have a zero tolerance over that, because we are all about being fair. So please, it's just not worth doing it. Play safe, have fun. That's what this app is designed for everyone to enjoy it.
Cool. Thank you, Dan. David, just quickly, I think you were breaking up a little bit in the beginning, but I just so everybody understood, we have the first draft of the Omi utility article coming soon, and he also said do not mess with scripts or bots because we will smash them.
Smash it,
as we say.
Yeah.
It's like whack-a-mole.
Okay, Dan, good?
Yep, we're all very good. Just wanted to say a big thank you and a big shout out to everyone who attended DCon. I was watching a lot of the videos, for the live streams and everyone who was doing it. It was a really great way for David and I to sort of feel like we were part of the experience while we were stuck back in here in New Zealand. So yeah, just as per usual, just massive thanks to the community. Great to get on these calls and just have a chin wag, as OBL loves to say.
Shout out to OBL.
Is today the record number? I think that was at 2400.
Yeah, it's definitely more than we've ever had in one of these spaces. Incredible. So shout out to everybody who stuck around for the duration. We still have over 1,000 people here in the space. Absolutely amazing. And thank you for everybody who got up and asked a question or submitted a question via Twitter. And sorry again to those that I didn't get to in the queue, but next time. All right. That's it. Thank you very much. Have a great weekend, everybody, and good luck on Storm.
Thank you.
Thanks so much. Bye.
Bye.
Another great AMA. I mean, shout out to the whole Ecomi team. It was just amazing. Makes me want to start my own spaces. I mean, they just had over 2,400 people. I mean, shout out to them. The whole VeVe team. I mean, we just had over 2,400 people on the Twitter space at once. I mean, that's impressive right there. I mean, so many big things are coming. The Omi utility article, that's going to be huge. It's going to be big time. And I mean, just so many more things coming. You heard him talk about how huge meeting today with upcoming artists. So many big things, Another big drop tomorrow. First one of the X-Men. It's the first X-Men collectible ever, so I think that's going to be big in its own right. And, appreciate to you guys. Smash the like button so this gets, the algorithm sends it to all bunch of different people because VeVe's growing at a huge rate right now. I mean, we saw what Disney did to the app. I mean, just unbelievable. So we're signing off. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Another great drop. I'm definitely going to go for it. It's a $50 blind box. We got a whole bunch of different rarities. Hopefully we lock in a secret rare, so that'll be big. But shout out to you guys. I'm signing off. It's your boy, Johnny Da.